Welcome parents, teachers, staff, students, family members, and most importantly, graduates. It's crazy that we're meeting face to face, theoretically, not screen to screen. I never thought that it would be so nice to hear people simply clap, but I guess when the closest thing you've seen to such a phenomenon throughout quarantine is the Zoom clap feature, you learn to value the little things. I know we've all been waiting a very long time for this moment, the moment where, in the cheesiest, sappiest way possible, we finally, eagerly, and earnestly close the chapter of our high school experiences while diving headfirst into the next chapters of our lives. This afternoon marks the intersection of past reflection and future hopefulness, the recognition of failures in conjunction with growth, the bridge between reliance and independence. To put it straightforwardly, we made it. And not only did we make it through 4 years of high school, but we as a graduating class have had one of the most unique experiences that any graduating class has faced thus far. Defining the level of uncertainty that continues to circulate around our country as high would be an understatement. I might as well describe it as astronomical, actually. Fall college semesters have been up in the air, steady paying jobs have been at risk, basic fundamental health needs have been compromised. Our world has been turned upside down, and honestly, I will be the first to say that the future is extremely scary and overwhelming. 2020 itself has been scary and overwhelming. But although this year was not the year we wanted, it was the year we needed. Right now, to name a few reasons why 2020 has not been so amazing, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. We are at the much too delayed forefront on the fight for equal rights, quite literally the civil rights movement of our generation. We are entering an economic recession. Tensions are at an all-time high. The polarization and lack of communication, the inability to reach any common ground, and the perpetuated all-out chaos surrounding us honestly disgusts me. But we needed this. We are in a state of collective crisis, a time where society itself seems to be crumbling both from the top down and the bottom up. Instead of dreading that, though, I am hopeful. I've really spent time thinking about the right things to say during this speech, and I've thought a lot about how we as graduates can use this complex time for good. Actually, I've probably overthought it. For those of you that know me on a personal level, or even just enough to understand the basic way that my brain functions, you know that I tend to overthink. And it definitely does have some overall negative effects. Therefore, what I'm about to say may sound incredibly surprising, stupid, and counterproductive. I'm here to say that we all have to overthink. Now, before you start thinking to yourself, Central High School's co-valedictorian Charlie Karner just told a gathering of still young, impressionable minds to overthink. Overthinking causes anxiety to rage rampant, triggers an increase in cortisol, the hormone that causes stress, and is the utmost underlying problem of teenage issues in our society. Nope. Let me make this explicitly clear. I do not mean overthinking in the realm of excessive, unhealthy worry. Actually, from this moment forward, I'm going to personally work towards removing the association between overthinking and worrying, because I tend to do both, and I believe that one is beneficial while one is detrimental. Overthinking the right things is far from negative. Too often, we form brash judgments based upon one potentially biased or emotionally charged source of information. Now, and here are a few potential judgments that could be permeating about the audience right now that I'd like to dismantle. I don't mean only in the media or in any political sense. We hear educated opinions, uneducated opinions, justified ideas, unjustified ideas, and more from our friends, our extracurriculars, our school activities, general organizations within our community, and yes, we cannot ignore the fact that the media does play a large role in speeding up the release of this information. Information overload will not end, and likely will only continue to increase. But we can adapt to use this to our advantage. We as a society, as a generation, are the most equipped to navigate technology and electronics. We have information at our fingertips, but we also must learn how to use it. Before I sound like I'm stereotypically preaching each of our innate abilities to change the world, let me get to the point. Do your research. Prior to passing a judgment or deciding how something should be, we must take the immediate opportunity that we have, in contrast with generations before us, to really seek out the complexities of our society, using them to form our own judgments. Let's healthily overthink. It's completely okay and beneficial, actually, to not align with the people sitting next to you right now. I guarantee you that me and some of my closest friends disagree on many things. We even discuss them. As a result of this, I have, and although this may seem crazy, changed my opinion on something upon receiving more information. We have to normalize learning new things and alternating our mindsets relating to them. For instance, I used to believe that college was the only way to step up to success in this world. Likely, we all did. It's an open narrative that society as a whole pushes upon us from a young age. But as more information became available to me, it became strikingly clear that we define our own definitions of success and fulfillment. As I overthought the societal definition of success, I thought to consult the all-knowing Google search bar and found that 2 out of 4 of the definitions all alluded to money in some way. The attainment of prosperity of prospect, and a person or thing that desires achieved aims or attains prosperity. There are so many ways to define success, and every single one of us could have a different definition sitting in this room right now. Some of us will attend college, some of us will not. Some of us will join the military, some of us will not. Some of us will love college, some of us will not. Some of us will continue to go on to graduate school, some of us will not. None of us are the same. So instead of blindly falling into the construct of making as much money as possible to be fully happy, I challenge all of us, myself included, to really overthink what we value. If that's wealth, embrace it. If that's familial stability, embrace it. If that's friendship, embrace it. Because no matter what your intrinsic definition of success is, it is wholly and completely yours. And don't forget, it can change. Upon initially writing this speech even, I was attending college next month. Now I'm pursuing internships and road tripping across the US. That's a big change, and that's okay. We aren't pigeonholed to the same people that we were today. And I can tell you for a fact that I am not even the same person at all that I was freshman year. And for this, I know that all of us in this room can say the same. A quote that has stuck with me, ironically one that I found through surfing the world of Instagram, is that if you cringe at your past, it means you have grown. We've all made mistakes. We've all done things that we're not proud of, but what really matters is how we've reflected upon them. So, thank you to everyone in this school that has helped me grow these past 4 years. And I'm going to be realistic, I don't know every single person in our graduating class. If any student in here can point out every other graduate by both name and face, I seriously commend you. I can't say that we've all affected each other on a deep and personal level, because that would be lying. What I can say, though, is that we have all affected at least one other person in this room. That person has impacted another person, and in a chain reaction and sort of butterfly effect, we've all shaped our collective experience as central and ultimately our experiences with one another. Now, before I begin to overthink, or rather worry about the fact that I'm very much probably running over the allotted time, I want to close this speech in the best way that I can, given that there are still hundreds of ideas circulating around my mind. I have a lot that I want to say, a lot that I can say, but here's what I'm going to say. You do not have to settle for something that you do not fundamentally believe in. Whether that be something going on in our world right now or something churning within yourself, all I have to say is overthink it. Thank you.